Hello everybody and welcome to Front Row Racing's PCS for round 6 on Project Cars. Round 6 will take place at the famous Nurburgring, one hell of a racetrack, and in these LMP1 cars it's going to be an interesting challenge for the drivers. Now we are on a delayed start this evening due to Formula 1 recently finishing, and I believe there is a number of drivers that have not made it to our circuit yet after the F1 is on. So as you can see, there's only 7 drivers at the moment, which is a little bit frustrating. I will run through who is missing and hopefully going to be joining very, very soon. Okay, because I'm going to go through the standings. So leading the standings is Kay Slay on 111 points. I think he's pretty much got this PCS Championship wrapped up. In second place is Dave the Harp on 67 points. Both of those guys are on the track this evening. We then got Hesselden in third place on 59 points, and he has not managed to get to his car yet, so hopefully we'll see him join during qualifying or warm-up. Adam 4600 is in fourth place on 52 points, and he will be taken to the track. And then we've got Over Dyking on 49 points. He too has said that he will be racing, but is not yet at the circuit. Chris Core is on 40 points, although he has not been on Project Cars for a while, but still doing well in the standings. And then Temp Fear on 29 points. Jamie James on 28 points. Both of those guys also not available yet. GBM Oldman on 24 points. He will be taken to the circuit, so a good chance for him to gain 3 or 4 places. GBM Vectra on 18 points. He's not on track with us this evening. And then Front Row Racing JS on 13 points. He will be taken to the circuit. Duofin on 10 points. Not sure if we'll be seeing Duofin or not. Usually around this time of year, as hockey season gets going, it tends to be either on a Wednesday or a Sunday. Well, hopefully we'll be able to join us on the track. It would be nice. Eraser has, I think that's 7 points. I'm looking from a distance. He's not available at the moment either. Killer Corkin, he's online, not quite joined us on the track yet. He's on 0 points, and Neotig also on 0 points. So we'll take this moment to mention that there is still a few rounds left in the Project Cars leagues that we've got. We've got the PCS, which is the Project Cars Standard and currently racing in LMP1s, and the Project Cars Premium, which is racing on GT3s, and we're racing alternate Sundays at the moment. So tonight's the Project Cars Standard in the LMP1s, next Sunday will be the GT3s. So for anyone that's watching or has heard about us and is interested in getting involved in the league on Project Cars, then come and find Front Row Racing on Facebook. I mean, you can always comment on the YouTube comments after the video has gone live. After the video has the live broadcast has been done, and then you'll be asked to get in touch on Facebook. And then we'll get you in the race. It's as simple as that. I think the race distances, I think it's about 75 miles for each of them. I've been out of touch with the Project Cars for a while, so I'm not up to speed on exactly how many miles we're doing. Apologies for that, but I had to take a break from it this season. I think this is my second or third time doing commentary on Project Cars in season 4, I think we're on. Whereas obviously seasons 1, 2 and 3 I pretty much did commentary on all of them. So anyway, we're going to be going to the circuit fairly soon. Just waiting for I just realised I was meant to be indicated to James that I was ready for the broadcast. The broadcast was going, but I'd actually voted to change the track, which they don't want to do. So yeah, they can head over to the circuit, but hopefully there should be a few drivers joining us during qualifying or warm-up. Now the qualifying session will be a 5-minute qualifying session, and around this Nürburgring circuit, I haven't got a lap time in mind, but I'm trying to think. I'm going to guess around about 1 minute 25s potentially in the LMP1s, and I tell you what, if I'm anywhere near close with that, I'd be surprised. But it is, I mean, it's not the longest of circuits, 3.19 miles, but it is a very, very quick circuit. And these LMP1 cars, they have so much grip and so much downforce that they should love this track apart from some of the curbs. Now, this is a track that I must admit I do really, really like, and James did offer for me to race in this session. And I said, no, you're all right, mate. It's easier for me to do a solo commentary than it is for me to get the time to practice. So commentary is what I'll be doing, but I must admit I do love this circuit, and I wouldn't mind actually racing around here in one of these cars. Now, Casely, he's leading, I think he's leading both of the Project Cars leagues, and to be honest, we need someone to come and give him a bit of a fight. Hesselden is a previous champion. He's had a lot of bad luck this season, but I am going to want to ride on board for a hot lap in qualifying with Casely, and I think, looking at the session time remaining, I think James may have got the settings slightly wrong there. It's usually a 5-minute qualifying session and a 15-minute warm-up, but we're on a 15-minute session. So he's obviously changed that to a 15-minute qualifying session. Now, the 5-minute qualifying session did make it very, very interesting. It made it very intense for the drivers. On a circuit like this, you would literally have 2 flying laps, potentially, but you'd have to get out straight away and bang 2 flying laps in back to back. There would not really be much chance of doing a hot lap and then coming back in the pits and going out again. You wouldn't have the time. But anyway, yeah, this circuit, these cars should be a great combination, apart from the curbs, as I mentioned. Casely here approaching the Schumacher S's, and these corners should be phenomenal in the LMP1 car. They should just absolutely stick to the road, but that chicane and the Kumho curve that Casely is in now take too much curb on entry or exit, and you could quite easily find the car spinning out on you. Now, for anyone that does get in touch on YouTube while we're live here, apologies, because I'm on my own, I can't keep an eye on the comments that are coming in, so apologies for that, but feel free to chat between yourselves. So as Casely then gears himself up to start a flying lap at the Nurburgring circuit, taking it very slowly, a wide entry into the final corner, and then hard on the power, using all the LMP1 cars' power down the straight here, heading towards the Castrol S curves, which is turns 1, 2 and 3, or 1 and 2. Hard on the brakes, downhill, tricky little corner, early on the power, and then the awkward double left-hander of the Mercedes Arena. That corner's not too bad. It's when you get to this one. Do you take a tight entry like Casely has done here, or do you take a wide entry? A good exit though, nice tight exit. Now onto the RTL straight and into a fast downhill left-right chicane. The car should really hook the racing line, but it isn't. A little bit of understeer for him, a lot of dust ahead of him. Car's been off, obviously. Round the forward curve he's been then, and now heading down towards the Dunlop Kera. There's a hairpin, lots and lots of camber, means you can really throw it into the corner. Get on the power early, but he's on the curb, it's making the rear end a little unstable, and he's backed out of the lap. So the curb really having an effect on him there. Told you the curves could get tricky, but he has got more than enough time to head off for another flying lap. I'm just seeing Overdijking has now joined us on the track as well. Let's see who else is out there from a racing GP. He's just about to start a flying lap. Let's see, Adam 4600. Oh, I was going to say big, beautiful drift, but that's lag. Project Car's still got it. There's a horrible visual glitches then I see. Dave the Harp looking like he's pushing as he's making his way into the Kumho curve. It is a beautiful left-hander when you get it hooked up right, and then the right-hander of the bit curve. Once again, there's a lot of the corners around here are beautifully cambered corners, aimed to make the cars go around them quicker, with the risk of curbs that could send you flying off into the sand or barriers. Through the Vidal chicane he goes, and now through the Coca-Cola curve, although it's probably known as something else by now, probably, I don't know, vodka and Coke curve. But around the final corner he goes. Was this a timed lap, or was that an out lap? It was a timed lap, so 1:41.4, so I was way off with my predictions of lap times. Adam 4600's done a 41.6, so 2 tenths between them. Casely, he's set himself up, he's on another flying lap then, so we'll kind of continue from where he was earlier on. Car much more hooked up on this occasion. Perhaps he just needs that extra lap to get the tyre temperatures in I mean, weather's looking nice and sunny, but it could still be cold. I mean, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. I wouldn't say that's necessarily absolutely scorching. And Casely then through the Dunlop hairpin, much nicer through there. The Schumacher S should be flat out. And it is easily flat out in these cars. And now the Kumo curve. It's a tricky corner. Tempts you to brake very, 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 very late. But if you brake too late, you're going off wide. And I do like this corner. Really throw it in. Get on the power. Risk dipping a wheel in the gravel as Casely nearly did then. Now into the Hatzenbach's Bogen curve. And heading up to the Vidal chicane. Be as late on the brakes as you can. Brake of the WMD sign. He's turning in very, very early. Using all of the curbs. Add a little bit more, and now into the final corner, the Red Bull and Coke with a hangover curve. And let's see, is it going to be into the 140s or maybe even lower? It is a 139.3, so Casely showing he's the guy to beat again. Dave the Harp, though, on a second flying lap, is he? Yes, he is. Let's see if he's improving. I would guess if he wasn't, he wouldn't have continued the lap on. So is he going to get down into the 140s? He does. It's a 140.7. Makes it a little more respectable. Adam 4600's now down to a 41.0, and he's still a little sideways. GBM Oldman currently on a 42.4 coming around the final corner. Heading up to the line. Let's see how he does. Has not improved, so maybe he's, I was going to say, going for another fly, but he's not. He's into the pits. Okay, Sir 2. I've not seen much of him on track, to be honest. So let's see how he gets on. Currently on a 143.5. Making his way towards the kink in Sector 3. The definite overtaking place in the race, but getting two cars side by side through the Vidal chicane, not an easy thing to do. Using all of the curve quite nicely, a little bit wide, a little bit away from the apex on the second part. Is he setting himself up for a lap? It looks like he might be. If he was on a fly, he may have had to have abandoned it. So across the line, Sir 2 goes then, heading down to turn 1. It's such a tricky braking zone, a little bit of a curve to it. Downhill always makes braking difficult. Cambered corner, which is more cambered the tighter you take it, and if your suspension can't handle it, then you need to take a wide entry. But he's looking quite nice around here so far as Sir 2. Going through the Mercedes arena, a little bit wide, a little bit far away from the apex. Is it going to compromise him? It does a little bit on the exit. And now down the RTL straight, late on the brakes. This is downhill as well, but nicely cambered. And his car looking nicely hooked up through there, so the temperature into the tyres now then. See how he gets on in the Dunlop curve. I must admit, out of all of the hairpins in the world, this is one of the ones I like the most. A camber on it that just begs you to take it so much faster. And it's brilliant until you end up... Okay, that was too quick. Schumacher S's. Yeah, flat out, using plenty of curb. Quite nice through there. Let's see how he gets on through the Kumo curve. It's looking good. As this lap is going on, he's hitting more and more apexes. And as I say, that he's now missed that one. So that's about right for commentators cursing. With a 143.5 to beat for his own personal best. And I would say, by the looks of it, this is on for doing that. And have a guess at a 142.0. Perhaps a little bit of a bold prediction, but let's see what happens. Into the final corner then. Oh, he's wide on the exit. Get that power down. Get that power down. He manages to save it. What's he going to be across the line? Oh, it's only a 43.5, so it was an improvement, but not a big one. Let's see, from a Racing GP, I doubt very much he'd have had any practice on this one. Currently sitting in 6th place. I thought... Adam 4600's car was going a little bit sideways, but not as much as from our Racing JS's is. I must admit, I still don't know why Project Cars has this issue, and I think it's fair to say he's definitely off the track there now. That'll be that lap over. It looks like Overdynking has now left the session. He's not out on track at all, and doesn't look like he's in the pits either. Casely, he's back out on track. He's actually improved on his lap time. He's down to a 38.7. I think he's on course for potentially taking another win here, quite comfortably, which will get a little bit frustrating for him. I mean, to be honest, as much as he wants to win races, he wants to have a challenge while he's trying to do that. So let's have a quick look at sector times then. Caseley's on and out lap. GBM Oldman, sector 1 of a 32.4, and he's just improved on his lap time, just on a 42.1. Still in 4th place though, and 4600 is in 3rd place, not too far behind Dave the Harp in 2nd place, but Caseley has absolutely been flying. So we'll keep an eye on him. We'll see if he's going to improve any more. Let's see, pop the track map up, and it might show his sector times as he goes through sector 1. Annoyingly, it hasn't. Usually used to pop up whether they were up or down, but it's a 31.6 sector 1 for Caseley. Adam 4600 in 3rd place doing a 32.3. So Caseley's gaining what, 7/10 of a second in sector 1 alone. He's got a car ahead of him as he is now heading up to the Schumacher S's. That car has led him through. Let's see, sector 2 time of a 32.1, and again he's 6/10 up on Adam 4600's time there, so he's absolutely flying. That puts him 1.2 seconds up. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and improves on his lap time again. So around the final corner then, and across the line he goes, and he hasn't improved on it. I'm a bit surprised by that, to be honest. Well, Caseley continues on for another lap. Let's see, Dave the Harp is still running at a 140.2 at the moment with 2.5 minutes left of the session. And at 4600, it's so frustrating seeing cars going around a track like this. I mean, it's been a while since, well, it's pretty much been since Project Cars was released that this particular glitch has been a problem, and obviously they've done absolutely nothing to fix it, really. It also comes with the audio glitch that they've done absolutely nothing to fix either. But Adam 4600, sideways or not, looks like he's absolutely pushing it out there, and hopefully he'll be able to improve on his lap time a little bit. Now, as I mentioned at the start, for anyone that's watching that likes Project Cars and wants to get involved in a Project Cars League, there are spaces available in both of the Project Cars divisions in Front Row Racing, so don't hesitate, get in touch, find Front Row Racing on Facebook, send us a message, or if you're watching live right now and you want to get involved, harass Front Row Racing JS for an invite. Because while I'm doing the broadcast, I won't be able to. But Adam 4600 clips the pit wall there. May have slowed him down a little bit. And crosses the line. He does improve, but it's only by 1/10 of a second. Dave the Harp come around the final corner. Is he going to be able to improve at all? No, he can't. GBM Oldman, he sat in the pits with a 141.9. His session over. Sir 2. He's got enough time to get to the line. We saw him put in the 43.5 earlier on. Let's see if he can improve on that. He's got a car behind him as well. That's Overdyking. So Overdyking has managed to get back in. And by the looks of it, trying to sneak a little bit of slipstream as well. Let's see, can Sir 2 improve at all? Hopefully he can. Round the final corner then, and the car that was behind him has disappeared. That'll be their session over, and Sir 2 crosses the line and has not improved, unfortunately. From a Racing GP, he's got 30 seconds to try and get to the line, And From Racing JS looks like he's just come out of the pits. Actually, he hasn't set a time yet. So let's see, has GP got enough time? Can he get out there? I'm just wondering if... this is probably where I'll find out that James has done something a little different. He's done, GP's lost it nearly on the exit of the chicane. Probably done a 15-minute warm-up session and then a 5-minute qualifying session or something daft like that. But I will just check what he posted on the Facebook page. Oh, he didn't put the information on that particular one. But anyway, there we go. So... qualifying over, Casely does take pole position once again. He's on for taking the win. Dave Harp second, Adam Fuchs 600 third, GBM Oldman fourth, Surtu fifth, GP sixth, Overdyking seventh, and it'll be JS in eighth. So now we're on to a 5-minute warm-up session. So yeah, he has done it the other way around, and this is the opportunity for all of the drivers to put their race fuel in and get used to the car on full race fuel, or put half the amount of fuel in, or however much fuel they're going to use up until they pit, and get used to that, and we'll see how they get on. Either way, it's clear that Casely appears to have a massive advantage when it comes to lap time, and that smoke from Surtu's tyres was real from proper drifting rather than being a visual glitch. So for the drivers now then, this is all about getting reacclimatised to the car with the heavier fuel loads, and also choosing what tyre they're going to actually start the race on. There is no regulation imposed about which tyre you have to qualify on or which tyre you have to use in the race, regardless of what tyre you qualify on. So if I remember rightly, with the LMP1s you've got soft, mediums and hards that are potentially available to be used, and I think, to be honest, a circuit like this, the soft tyres, they'll get eaten up quite a bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if they are more than capable of coping with the stresses of this circuit. So I mean, yes, there'll be a lot of work going through the tyres. Obviously, quite a few medium to high speed left right corners, but I mean, when it comes to braking zones, there's only really sort of two big braking zones, giving sort of two big traction zones. So yeah, the tyres should cope quite nicely around this track. Excuse me. So with 3 minutes left to go then, as Casely, I thought he might, getting ready to do a practice start. I wonder if he's actually going to go and park it up on pole position. I doubt it, because pole would be on the racing line and drivers are getting ready to obviously drive down the racing line, but Casely is going to do a practice start, so let's see how he gets on here, because unfortunately on Project Cars we don't get to see the start of the race. A little bit of wheel spin, but then the car picks up quite nicely and away he goes. Good run there. Did sound like he lost a little bit of traction in the initial phase, but it soon picked up the grip and away she went. Adam 4600's car looking like it's facing the right direction, which is good to see. Hopefully it'll stay that way throughout the race. Dave the Harp also out there getting used to, I mean, one of the things the drivers will have to get used to is how the car's going to brake with a heavier fuel, as Dave's finding there, a little bit away from the apex as the car's a little bit slower to brake. But what some drivers may find is that putting fuel in the car gives them better traction. And a big part of that can be because there's additional weight on the rear end of the car. It just pushes the rear end into the ground that little bit more and helps with the traction. I am aware that when the Aussie V8s were being raced in Season 3, that quite a few drivers like to have a bit of sort of waste fuel in the car just to give that extra bit of traction, because getting rid of it and having the car as light as possible did make the rear end very, very tail happy. Okay, just over a minute to go of the warm-up session then, and then we'll be ready for the start of this race. And I've just realised I haven't got anywhere near enough drink, and I haven't got anywhere near enough time to go and make myself one. So if there is a lot of coughing during this, I do apologise. So GBM Oldman car's looking fairly stable and fairly planted at the moment, even using plenty of curb on the entry to the Schumacher curves. It'll be interesting through those corners if drivers do get side by side, because if you're on the inside, you're going to struggle to get around the right hand part, and if you're on the outside, you're going to struggle to stay on the track for the right hand part. It's not going to be easy. Anyway, 20 seconds to go then, and just another quick mention for anyone that is interested in getting involved in a Project Cars League, come and find Front Row Racing on Facebook. That's where we do all of our business. Profile pictures, a picture of the Silverstone wing. Drop us a message and we'll get you involved in the next races. The next PCS race, LMP1s, is 2 weeks today. Usual race time I think is 7:30 or 8 o'clock. I'll have to check Facebook for that. We're running later today because of the Formula 1. And next Sunday, on the alternate Sundays, is the GT3s. So yeah, come and give K-Slay a run for his money. I know from our Racing JS has been doing everything he can to curse K-Slay, basically saying, yeah, it's his, he's won, to try and make sure that he has some engine failures or something, but happened yet. But anyway, we're on now for a 26-lap race of the Nurburgring circuit, and we're on 3 red lights, and now the green lights, and away they go, heading down into turn 1. I'll try and get on board with the cameras, and K-Slay, he's had a slow start. Dave the Harp managed to get ahead. K-Slay now up the inside into turn 1. He's gone deep though. Dave the Harp, he's still working it, but he has managed to get ahead. That's a great start by him. Poor start by K-Slay. Adam 4600, he was close to getting involved in taking the lead as well, but he still holds on to third place as GBM Oldman now in fourth. Oh, Sir 2 being bumped wide a little bit by, it wasn't over Dykink, it was from a Racing JS who's getting his shoulders out a little bit. GBM Oldman trying to attack Adam 4600, not quite worked. Okay, Sir 2 down to 7th then, and from a Racing GP in 8th. Probably the best thing that could have happened in this race would be for K-Slay to have a poor start, which he has, and now Dave the Harp is really going to have to do everything he physically can to keep K-Slay behind him to make this race as interesting as it possibly can be. However, K-Slay has shown in qualifying he's a second or so quicker than everybody else, so keeping K-Slay behind him is not going to be easy to do. And for Adam 4600, he's going to want to try and keep on to this battle as best as he can, otherwise he's going to come under a lot of pressure as a car in the background, I think it was JS, dips a wheel in the gravel. So Dave the Harp into the braking zone then of the Vidal chicane. K-Slay not attacking him yet, but I have a feeling he might do into the first corner. Adam 4600 coming under a lot of pressure from GBM Oldman. He's going for the move on the inside into the Coca-Cola curve. There you go. Someone give him some vodka. No, Adam 4600. What a move coming back up the inside. Then side by side. Oh, he's gone for the slipstream and put Oldman into the barrier. That was fantastic driving, followed by disastrous driving really. He's over Dykink now, trying to make his way past Adam 4600, and K-Slay trying to get past Dave the Harp up at the front. Got the inside line. Oh, now he's on the outside though. Dave may be able to hang him out to dry, but K-Slay will get a better exit here. Slow round the corner, but better out of the corner. But Dave's got him covered off for the moment. Interesting bit of driving. Over Dykink now up to third. Adam 4600 in fourth. JS looking up the inside for Adam 4600 going wide. He's now got the inside of the corner. JS looking for the switch back. But Adam 4600 looks like he may have covered it off. Yes, he has gone defensive, but I think JS is still going to throw it up the inside into the hairpin. There you go, he has done. It's late, but the camber of the curve makes it possible. Dave the Harp under a lot of pressure from K-Slay. I'm going to end up coughing before we get to the end of lap 2. He's having a look up the inside. Brave to try and overtake through the Kumo curve, but it can be done. But Dave the Harp holds on to the lead for now. And in many ways you can sacrifice a bit of time through the Kumo curve to get a better exit out of the bit curve and get a better run down this particular straight up to the Vidal chicane. But K-Slay not able to attack into there. Let's see if there's any attacks going on further back. No, there isn't. Where's JS gone to? He's dropped all the way down to 7th place. I didn't see what happened to him, but he's lost a lot of places there. He obviously did get past Adam 4600 into the hairpin, but something must have happened just after that for him to lose those places. Here goes K-Slay up the inside then, down into turn 1. No, Dave around the outside manages to hold on to it. Down the inside, it is difficult to get the car slowed down. And on this occasion, that's exactly what happened to Casely. So Dave working his magic at the moment. Overdyking opening up a little bit of a gap on Adam 4600. Question is, can he close in on Casely? I mean, for Dave the Harp's sake, I'd have to hope so. Because if Caseley's got to defend, it'll make things a little easier for Dave. Adam 4600's got a little bit of space around him now, but GBM Oldman not too far away. You never know, may want to be coming at him for a little bit of revenge. Sir 2 under a bit of pressure from Front Row Racing JS. He's going too deep, is he? No, he's not. Hanging around the outside and manages to get ahead. Quite a nice move there. He can overtake without a dive bobbing on occasion, and GP not too far behind either. As I mentioned, he wouldn't have done really any practice, I don't think, for this one. But there you go. You don't have to practice, you just have to turn up and race and enjoy yourself. Okay, let's have a look up at the front. Casely still running second place. So it's right on board with Casely. Slipstream will be effective in the LMP1 cars. However, the straights aren't massively long here. So I don't think it's going to give a massive gain. I was wondering if Casely is going to have to sort of really chuck it up the inside somewhere. I mean, in many respects, there's two ways to defend a corner. And if you're in Dave the Harp's position, one is stay on the racing line where you get the most grip, and the other is defend the inside. Either way, it opens up options. You either give the other person the racing line, or you give him the inside of the corner. Casely, is he too far back? He is. He's just going to have to pace himself. Casely going for a very wide entry to get a better exit, to set himself up better for turn 3. Oh, he's off the throttle though. Dave's gone a little bit wide, but that's where Casely's line through those corners has benefited him. Closed the gap up a lot now. Excuse me, but the way Dave's taken the second part of the Mercedes arena is just making it very difficult for Casely to attack there. If Casely could take the second part of that corner the way that Dave is, he'd absolutely destroy him down the RTL straight, I think. Heading now down towards the hairpin. I mean, it is possible as well that Casely's just sort of cruising and enjoying himself. Look after the tyres, give Dave plenty of pressure, make him look in his mirrors. You see, Overdyking's not too far away, but Casely's close. He's really close. Is he going to have another look into the Kumo curve? He's looking, but he can't quite do it. Dave's ran wide. I don't know if there's a little bit of contact there, but Dave's now offline. He's managed to keep the inside of the corner, but this is going to give Casely a good run. Tries to pull out from the slipstream, side by side. This could get interesting. Dave Hart's going to win the racing line, but Casely's got his card just about there. Nice defending by Dave, and Casely concedes the corner, and here comes Overdyking. He is beginning to close in that gap, so we could be not far away from a three-way battle for the lead of this race. Adam 4600 still running in 4th place with GBM Oldman closing that gap in on him. Come on, old man, show him you're still young. You'll be alright. JS in 6th now. Sir 2 down to 7th. Something's happened to Sir 2 because he's now got Front Row Racing GP right behind him. And it kind of looks like GP is pretty much cruising. So I don't know if Sir 2's had a bit of a moment off track or anything like that. I would guess he probably has. Okay, so the main battle then, the closest battle is the battle for the lead, which is Dave the Harp and Casely. And I mean, it's possible that Casely's just sizing Dave up, just working out where he's quicker, where he may be able to really have a look at throwing a move, and this could be it. He's close enough. Is Dave going to go defensive into the hairpin? If he doesn't, there you go. Casely's going to chuck it up the inside, and he does. The camber of the curve helping him. A little bit of contact, a little bit more contact. That's Casely into the gravel. It looks like Dave's going slow to let him keep going, but here comes Overdyking. He's trying to get in the mix as well. So Dave and Casely kind of blocking the road off as they're trying to make sure that they continue on in the right positions. I think Dave realised that he perhaps nudged Casely off there, but now we do have the three-way battle for the lead of the race. Unfortunately, just not in the order that I was hoping for, because I was hoping that it'd be Dave the Harp, Casely and then Overdyking, because that would be a little bit more mixed. But Dave Harp now, is he going to have a look on Overdyking straight away, looking up the inside, but it's not an easy place to overtake. But there is the possibility now of Casely having the clean air of running away, and the drivers, they can't afford to let him do that. If they do, he'll be gone. That's been seen in previous rounds this season. So Overdyking then trying to get in the slipstream of Casely. Then you can see that Casely's already opened up a little bit of a gap. But this may be a situation that helps Dave the Harp if he can keep his pace up. I mean, looking at the lap times, Casely's a 40.8, Overdyking a 40.9, Dave's a 40.7. So Dave has the faster lap of the three at the moment. Although Casely, I would expect to potentially put in a new fastest lap now, having the clean air. But it's all going to depend on how much his tyres have suffered through the opening 4 laps of this race. So let's see, Casely, yeah, he's opening up that gap a little bit. Let's have a look at the sector times, 32.0, 32.5, 33.0. So yeah, Casely straight away putting in what looks to be a new fastest sector 1. We're a little deep at the hairpin though. But look at the gap he's already opening up, showing his ability. I mean, the guy also won his first Formula Racing F1 World Championship race at Bahrain. Yes, it was Bahrain, a couple of weeks ago, confirmed yesterday. So very well done to him. I mean, he's been absolutely dominant in project cars this season, and he's taking it over onto the F1 side of things as well. So Overdyking now in second place, Dave Harp dropping off the back of them in third. He's going to have to be careful of Adam 4600. His lap times are a couple of seconds off the pace, but physically is not that far behind David Hart. GBM Oldman, the gap has opened up between him and Adam 4600, but the gap between himself and From a Racing JS has closed down a lot. Although, thinking about it, I'm sure I saw From a Racing JS overtaking GBM Oldman earlier. I could be wrong. I've seen him make a number of overtakes and then lose positions, so anything could have happened to him. But is he close enough now to have a look down into turn 1? I don't think he is, but it might not stop him going for it. There you go, I told you, it was a late move. And that's GBM Oldman quite wide and far off the track there. JS, I think, will be giving that position back, and yep, there you go, he is. Realised he got that one a little bit wrong. Sir2 running in 7th place at the moment. He's opened up the gap to From a Racing GP. Nice to see they're still going in the right direction. Oh, here we go again. You know it's going to end in disaster. If there's a JS at the end of the name, it's going to be risky. Oh, and I tell you what, his previous move has ended up having Oldman thinking, okay, he's behind me, where's he going to go? He's got himself out of shape, and JS now moves ahead. If I was Oldman, I'd give him a little cheeky dive bomb back, I reckon. But he's going to have to work hard to stay close enough to be able to do it. Okay. Casely did go and put in a new fastest lap of the race, a 40.6 previous lap around. Overdyking still on the 40.9. David Hart still on a 40.7, but I'm going to have a look at their last laps once these guys have crossed the line this time around. So Casely then, we can see in the 4th column along, the lap currently says 141.025. Overdyking a 141.8, and Dave the Hart was a 143.0. So although their fastest lap times were fairly close together, Casely's 8/10ths quicker than Overdyking at the moment, and nearly, well, a whole 2 seconds faster than Dave the Hart. So I don't know if Dave the Hart's tyres have gone off, but that's going to put Adam 4600 within biting range, because he's just done a 43.3, so timing gaps between them not too far apart. Now GBM Oldman's last lap was a 147.9, but we did see that little bit of a bump with From a Racing JS, and Sir2's done a 44.3, so JS and Oldman are going to have to be careful of Sir2 catching up to them. I mean, yeah, he's only a corner away, so give it another 10 laps and he could be right on the back of these two guys. But JS is opening up the gap now to Oldman. He's going to try and hunt down Adam 4600, who can see Dave the Harp ahead of him in 3rd place, who is struggling for lap time now, as Overdyking has pulled out quite a gap on him. But Casely, the gap between himself and Overdyking is growing slightly, but perhaps not as much as Casely would like. Unfortunately for Dave the Harp, I don't think he's going to be able to fight back anymore for winning the race on this one. not unless he's just on a very soft compound of tyre and he can go onto a harder one and go very, very long. Let's see what Casey's lap time was this time around. So 42.0 is a second slower than his previous lap, as Overdyking does a 141.8. Let's see Dave the Harp, he's into the pits, so maybe he is running the softer compound tyre. So let's see, that's 8 laps then he's done on that particular set of tyres. Maybe he's just very, very aggressive on them, and that's why his lap times have suffered. We've also got From Racing JS coming in to the pits as well, and GBM Oldman, Sir 2, he's continuing on, so he is going to gain places, and so is From Racing GP. So let's see, Dave the Harp, how long is your stop going to be? It's looking like quite a long one. I wonder if he's having to take on fuel. Well, away he goes now. He's going to come back out in 8th place. Well, 6th place now. From Racing JS. Is it going to be a quick stop for him, or is it going to be a slow stop? Is he going to get out ahead of Oldman or not? He does. Away he goes. So Oldman will be the last to leave the pits, and that's him in 8th place. So let's have a look. Up at the front, Casey still leading, but Overdyking is actually closing that gap in now. I'm wondering if Casey's tyres have gone. Sector 1 time, Overdyking was 0.3 faster. Sector 2, 1/10 faster. Sector 3 I won't know about until they've actually crossed the line, but physically you'll see that the gap has come down a lot. There you go. So yeah, Casey, I think he's going to be going for the pits, and he is. So yeah, I think his tyres are absolutely going. Overdyking, unsure what to do there. Going on for another lap might not be a bad call if he's quicker at the moment. So 9 laps for Casey. I would suspect he's out of 4600 is going to continue on. Now, where is Casey going to come out? Is he going to come out in clean air? I think he will do. So let's see, I mean, 26, you divvy it up into 3. By that, I'm not calling anyone a divvy, I'm saying you split it up into 3. 998. You could potentially do on soft compound tyres. It's looking like a long stop for Casey here. I wonder if he's taking on. Oh, actually, okay, they got going not that long then. Is he going to come out in 3rd? Depends on how far he is away from the pit lane exit, but not that far. So he is going to come out in 3rd place. So Overdyking then leading the race, but he's just gone 1/10 slower through Sector 1 than Casey did on the previous lap. I think it was the 33.3 Sector 2 time. So let's see what the Sector 2 time is on this occasion, because really could have done with putting in slightly quicker times to gain on Casey. And let's see what the Sector 2 is. 33.0, that's a quicker sector time. Needed that one, but obviously lost a fair chunk in the first sector. It would be very interesting to see whether he's able to get ahead of Casey when he makes his own pit stop. Which, given the undecidedness of this particular, or the previous lap around, whether to pit, I think it'll be now. No, he's decided to continue on. Could be costly, could be costly. Let's see, previous lap time was a 142.2. 142.0, so he's gained 0.2, but looking at Casey's middle sector as a 32.5, there's half a second right there. We won't get to see the Sector 3 time, but Casey is going to stay ahead. Unless Overdyking's thinking, if I can just go a few more laps, maybe I can one-stop this, whereas everybody else may need to do a 2-stop. Now, Adam 4600, he's still going. I wouldn't be surprised if he does a one-stop here. Let's see, I mean, 26, he gets down to 13 laps remaining. Yeah, one stop's easily on the cards, and if it is possible for the drivers to do that, it could be a winning strategy, simply because of the amount of time a pit lane or a pit stop costs. I mean, Casey's going to have to absolutely nail it if he's got another stop to do. Okay, Dave the Harp pitted some time ago. He's got Sir 2 behind him now. I'm not sure if Sir 2 has pitted. I think he may have done. but he's not very far away from David Hart. JS and GBM Oldman, they're still fairly close together after their recent pit stops, and GP quite a way behind at the moment. I'm wondering if there's been a bit of a problem there for him, or he's just done a pit stop. Okay, JS can see Sir 2, and Sir 2 can see Dave the Harp, so could get very, very close between those guys. And Overdyking is into the pits then, with what will be 15 laps remaining. So it's 11 laps he's gone. Perhaps put on a harder compound, or stick on the same compound again and just see if we can get those extra couple of laps. But I think Casely is going to retake the lead of this race. Well, not just yet, because Adam 4600, he's going to take the lead of this race. So where is Casely? Coming into the Vidal chicane. Sector 1, 31.8. Sector 2, 32.2. This is going to be a new fastest lap of the race. Previous is a 1:40.662, as we can see on the screen there. So as he crosses the line, Bosch, there you go, a 39.5. And where's Overdyking? He's just got going now, and you can see the amount of time that Casely has gained on Overdyking there. Although if Casely does have another pit stop to do, he's going to need all the time he can get. But a 39.5 halfway through the race, he could have done that in qualifying and still got pole position. So the question now is, Adam 4600, what are you going to do? I think he's going to go a couple more laps and then one stop. Okay, David Hart running 4th as we knew. JS now in 5th. Sir 2 is now in 6th. So something has happened to Sir 2 there. I've missed it. Apologies for that. But Sir 2 has now lost another position, and GBM Oldman's going to be hunting him. So JS is now going to be chasing Dave the Harp. And it's about a 5-second gap between the two of them, and it looks like JS is pushing really hard, but I think both Dave and JS are going to have another stop to do. Sir 2 just caught that in the background, lost the rear end. I'm wondering if his tyres are beginning to go on him. If he's trying to do a one-stop, that could be the situation, that his tyres are giving up the ghost. And here comes GBM Oldman now. He'll see that Sir 2's just lost a massive amount of time. It's going to give him plenty of confidence. We'll see GBM Oldman. He sounded like a little bit of a lift possibly through the Schumacher S's. Perhaps lacking a little bit of confidence there. Turning in nice and early. Well, perhaps a little too early. Oh, he's got a power boost penalty. It was nearly nice and early, but unfortunately he's got a power boost penalty. That cost him a little bit of time and gives Sir 2 a little bit of a breather. But given that Sir 2 was struggling with traction out of the Ford curve, I'm wondering if he's going to have a problem into the chicane. He can't get it slowed down. He's going to struggle to get it speeded up. Is he going for the pit lane? No, he's not. Okay, so he continues on. Let's see. Adam 4600 still not stopped. I'm going to have to find out what the gap is between himself and Casely. I don't think it's going to be absolutely massive. I'll find some kind of timing point that I can use, a mark on the road or something, the bridge perhaps. It's about an 8-second gap, and I tell you what, Casely has opened up an enormous gap now to Overdyking. It could be different tyre compounds in play there for sure, but I've got a feeling that Casely is going to need to try and get around about a 30-second gap. Dave the Harp, he's coming under pressure now from his good old mate JS, and we've seen what JS's overtake has been like so far through this race, so we ain't going to hang about. He is very much like a teenager in a nightclub for the first time. Drinks way too much and then just goes for it, even on someone that's out of his league. So yeah, expect some fireworks. It is nearly bonfire night. And if any clowns jump out on me, I'm either going to scream and run away or smack them on the head. I'm not a big fan of clowns. But David Hart nicely through the chicane. JS was a little shaky through the chicane, but he's still gaining. He's gaining. Not quite close enough for an overtake yet. Adam 4600 does finally pit with 13 laps remaining. Definitely one stopping at this race. So JS closing in on Dave the Harp. I do believe that this is the closest battle. Let's see. Oh, actually, GBM Oldman and Adam 4600. Will that be close? It unfortunately isn't as close as I would like it to be. Sir 2 also one stopping into the pits. Could be close with GP if he can pick up the pace a little bit. Okay, let's get back to JS and Dave the Harp. I'm also going to have a look at what the current finishing positions will do for the driver's standings. Let's see, but JS, he's gaining so quickly. He's going to be just absolutely gunning for a move as soon as he physically can, I reckon. And let's see, I mean, if they've got another stop to do, it's going to be in about 4-5 laps time. Oh, is he going for it? No! Oh, I think Dave got himself a little out of shape. Perhaps give James a hint of, go on then, I dare you. And he dared for a moment, and then he cracked himself and backed out of it. But he's quicker through the Schumacher S's. He's wider through the Schumacher S's. But he's not close enough to attack just yet. It's coming, though. You just know it's coming. Either that or he's going to bid it. The rear end stepping out. It's nearly gone on him. And I tell you what, Overdyking, he's not that far ahead of these two guys. So JS is going to want to get ahead as quick as he can because there's another position in the offing, potentially. But he's going to be starting another lap, staring at the rear end of Dave the Harp, and it's not a pretty sight, trust me. But he is close enough. Oh yeah, he's going to be going for the move on this occasion, no doubt about it. Within slipstream, within, I was going to say DRS range, but these guys don't have DRS. Well, there you go, up the inside. He's on the dirty part of the circuit though. Dave's going to hang it all the way around the outside, go for the switchback. May be doable, but JS has now got the inside line. Well, he's going to run wide. This could work back in Dave the Harp's favour for the inside line, but now he's run a little bit wide, and JS defending the inside line. Nice bit of driving from the two of them there. Managing not to take each other out. I'm surprised, but that moves JS up into third place. So Casely then, with 12 laps remaining, he's opened up a nice big gap. It's an enormous gap over second place, but he needs to do that to cover off his next pit stop from a racing JS. He's going to have to get a move on. Oh, don't want to go too sideways, but yeah, he's going to have to get a move on. He can see Overdyking ahead of him. However, JS has got another pit stop to do, as has Dave the Harp. Adam 4600 now in fifth place. He's going all the way to the end, I believe. So JS and Dave the Harp need to get a move on because they're going to come out behind Adam 4600. GBM Oldman running in sixth place, not too far behind Adam 4600. Trying to think if GBM Oldman will need to pit again. I think he will need to. And from a Racing GP has just got ahead of Sir 2. Unfortunately didn't see exactly what happened there, but Sir 2 now at the back of the grid in 8th place. But at least he's got a battle on his hands, but Sir 2 will be going to the end. Although actually it could be that GP has recently pitted, which is what has put these two close together. Okay, let's go and find out what the gap is up at the front. We've got a white line there. It's about an 18-19 second gap between Overdyking and Casely up at the front. So Casely's absolutely gunning it now. I'd say he's earned enough time to come out behind Overdyking, but will be quick enough to overtake. He hasn't improved on the fastest lap of a 39.5, but he doesn't really need to. I mean, what was his last lap? 40.4. Yeah, I mean, he's gaining 2.2 seconds on Overdyking at the moment. And from a Racing JS is going quicker than Overdyking, so he's trying to close that gap in as best as he can. It is quite a bit of a gap, though. And JS can just about see Overdyking because he makes his way into the chicane, so probably looking at about a 6-7 second gap there. But JS having an additional pit stop to do, and I think Overdyking potentially going to the end, as Dave the Harp has a half spin and into the pits he's going. So that is no, into the pits he's not going. I was going to say that was his 8-lap stint. It's now going to be a 9-lap stint. Sorry I caught that on camera, Dave. That'll be one of those moments he'll be wishing or hoping hasn't been spotted. Unfortunately it has been. It's going to have cost him quite a bit of time. Actually, he hasn't counted his lap time because of the way that corner was taken, but that's going to help out Adam 4600 quite a lot, and GBM Oldman. And Sir 2 is now back ahead of Front Row Racing GP, so maybe I should be watching this battle back here. Although Sir 2 has opened up the gap quite large now on Front Row Racing GP. Overdyking, I've got a feeling he is on a harder compound tyre, perhaps the mediums or the hards. I mean, I could be wrong, but given that he was keeping pace with Casely in the first stint, and then since the pit stops has sort of dropped off a lot, I have a feeling that it is a different compound of tyre, and I have a feeling that Casely will be making his way to the pits at the end of this next lap. I mean, I'd be shocked if Casely's gone for a harder compound of tyre, but he is now catching up to the back of Front Row Racing GP, so back markers in the offing for him. So Overdyking through the screen then, and I think JS is too far behind to catch him. But what's going to be interesting is the gap between JS and Adam 4600, and Adam 4600 has just got past Dave the Harp, although Dave the Harp may have made his... No, he won't have made his pit stop yet. He'll be making it now, I think. So I think Dave's tyres have just absolutely had it. He's going to be going into the pits on this occasion if he can get the car slowed down right this time around. So you can see how much his tyres have been hurting. The mistake on this corner, previous lap around, and he ended up being overtaken by Adam 4600 before he could actually get back to the pits. And GBM Oldman does follow him in. Okay, so what is this going to do for Adam 4600? He is potentially on the podium here because Front Row Racing JS has got an additional pit stop to do. Overdyking, I think, can potentially go all the way to the end, but it will all depend on what position he finishes in, will depend on what Casely is capable of doing. Now, I think that Casely will be pitting this lap. I could be wrong, but it would help him with the traffic that's on the circuit, although he has managed to get around for a racing GP, and Casely is into the pits. So the question will be then, Overdyking, where are you going to be on the track when Casely comes out of the pits? I think Overdyking may just be ahead. It's going to be close. Casely only just now getting into his box. So yeah, Overdyking will be ahead, but with 8 laps remaining, Casely is the quicker driver. He's on the quicker tyres. Overdyking is going to take the lead of the race. He is. Casely is not moving yet. This is kind of crucial. Does not need any problems with his pit stop here. And away he goes, and here comes Front Row Racing JS to take second place, but I do think that he has still got a pit stop to make. So Casely is going to come out in third place. We're going to have to find out exactly what that gap is between Overdyking and Casely. I'll use the timing line I used earlier on, just after this left-hander coming up, the wire line on the track. So let's count. It's about 13-14 seconds, and you know what? It's doable. Casely was lapping around about 2 seconds a lap faster on the previous stint. So you do that for 8 laps, that's 16 seconds. He's got Front Row Racing JS just ahead of him. And I think Overdyking, well, the only thing he can do is really go to the end and hope that Casely is not able to catch him up. Ooh, looking like he's going a little bit deep there. I mean, he won't want to have to pit again if he doesn't need to. If he wants any chance of winning this race, staying out may be the only way to do it. So JS now heading up into the Vidal chicane, and K-Slay, he's gone deep. He's gone deep. Oh dear, that may just be a little bit of a reprieve that both of the drivers need. But JS is now into the pits, and he should come out. Oh, well, I tell you what, that's interesting. Adam 4600 on his one-stop strategy is very, very close to K-Slay. And Adam 4600 is about to take third place in this race, but he's going to have From Racing JS behind him on a brand new set of tyres, but he's going to be a long, long way behind him, to be honest. Dave the Harp, I don't think he's going to be able to jump JS here because of the problems he had on his in-lap. GBM Oldman all on his own on track at the moment. Sir 2 trying to catch up to him, and GP is still going. He's actually right behind Adam 4600, so in a blue flag situation, and by the looks of it, no steering wheel in his car either. Okay, let's have a look. JS coming out of the pits then in fourth place. The gap between himself and Adam 4600 is huge. I don't think that's going to come down at all. The gap that is really of focus now is the gap between Overdijking in first, looking like he may be on a one-stop strategy, and K-Slay in second place on a two-stop strategy. Ooh, well, when they complete these particular laps, we'll see what the time difference is between both drivers' lap times. Obviously, previous lap for K-Slay involved a pit stop, and that's why it's a 2:20. So you're looking about 40 seconds-ish for a pit stop then. So Overdijking crosses the line with a 1:42.334. And K-Slay coming around the final corner now. And what's it going to be? Is it going to be another 40? Is it going to be lower? It's a 39.513. So it's 2.8 seconds. Yeah, the charge is on. It's doable. He's got 6 laps. It's not going to be easy, but it's doable. Well, they do say if you're going to go on and win championships, you have tests throughout your seasons, and for K-Slay, this is going to be one of them. Can he go and win another race? And to do so, he's got to pull in a rather large gap. Well, let's see. Looking at the standings, if K-Slay wins, he'll be on 136 points. Dave the Harp is currently in second place on 67 points, which is quite a large gap, really. Let's see. 44 points behind Dave the Harp is at the moment. And if K-Slay wins, I'll have to work that one out. Given the position that Dave's in, oh yeah, I think it won't quite wrap up the championship, but it'll be very, very close with what'll be 4 races to go after this particular event. So K-Slay getting ever closer to taking the From Racing Project Cars PCS title. Although, to be honest, I would like to see more drivers coming and challenging him. And as I was talking to a couple of the admins earlier on, they were saying it is a little frustrating that at the start of the season they had too many drivers, and then as we get halfway through the season, there's a lot of drivers just showing no interest in project cars at the moment, whether that be because of F1 or Battlefield or just the type of cars that are in use at the moment. But obviously at the end of this particular season the cars will change. I don't know what to, because I don't deal with that, but I'm sure more information will come out on Facebook in the near future. Okay, so K-Slay still trying to hunt down Overdijking. So Overdijking into the hairpin, and K-Slay is making his way down towards the hairpin. Oh, I tell you what, K-Slay, I didn't even spot that previous lap around. He improved his fastest lap to a 39.2. So he went from being 2.8 seconds faster to 3.4. Yeah, he's going to be within overtaking range within a few laps. I mean, what was the gap that I said? It was about 13-14 seconds. So let's find ourselves a timing beacon to work out exactly what the gap is between the two drivers now. Will I find a white line or mark on the track that I can use? I shall do so. So here we go then. Overdiking crossing the line. It's down to about 7 seconds already. So give it another 2 laps and Casely could be on the back of Overdiking. Overdiking, he must be on the harder compound tyre. Which is, I mean, he's going on average about a second slower than he was in stint 1 of the race. So yeah, I would guess he's on a much harder compound tyre, which is allowing him to go longer in the race, potentially giving him what he sees as his best opportunity of winning the race. But with 4 laps to go, or 3 and the 1 thereon, he's going to be coming under plenty of pressure. Can't quite see both drivers on the same screen at the moment, although we may do here as Overdiking goes round the hairpin. Yes, just saw Casely for a flash on the right, hopefully not flashing anything other than past the screen. So that gap is going to be continuously coming down, and Casely is going to see the gap coming down, as will Overdiking. Have a quick look at what else is going on. Adam 4600 looking like he's comfortable in 3rd place at the moment, as From Racing JS tries to hunt him down, but as much as he might close that gap in, I think he hasn't got enough laps to catch him to get onto the podium. Dave the Harp was doing well until he had the problems getting into the pit lane, running in 5th place at the moment. GBM Oldman, he's actually still not far behind Dave. If GBM Oldman can just pick up the pace a little bit, we may have a bit of a battle going on for 5th place. You can see him, and Sir 2, I mean, he too is not that far away, and GP still going around in 8th place. So 2 sort of battles we've got going on at the moment is the battle for the win, Overdiking versus Casely, and the battle for 5th place between Dave the Harp and GBM Oldman. Oh, the gap is really beginning to close down. Now about a lap ago it was 7 seconds. We'll check what that gap is again on the timing line that's coming up. Yeah, I don't think you need me to tell you that's only about 4 seconds. I did tell you anyway, but it is about 4 seconds. So Casely's absolutely flying at the moment. I mean, looking at the last lap, Overdiking 42.9, Casely 39.7. He can now clearly see him. The battle is on. The charge of seeing a car in the distance or not seeing the car there, it now becomes a very visual one. He's gaining so quick. The pressure's going to be on. The question will be is how much is Overdiking going to fight it? How much is he going to be able to fight it? I mean, there's going to be 2 laps remaining before Casely is even close enough to attack. But yeah, I don't think this one's quite over and done with yet. There's still got a few seconds to go to get close enough, but with 2 laps remaining, has he got enough? Has he taken too much out of the tyres? We'll soon know. So here we go, across the line then. Overdiking leading the race, 2 laps to go. Casely hunting him down. He's so much stronger on the brakes, given the softer compounded tyre, which means he'll be able to be more aggressive in traction. That gap is just reducing through the corners at a massive rate. Here comes Casely. I think he's going to be close enough to attack on this. He may have to leave it until the last lap, which... So here we go then, over the curve. Down towards the hairpin. He knows that Casely is gaining on him. Around the Dunlop curve, the pressure is on. There's so much more speed through the corners for Casely, and that'll be shown here through the Schumacher S's. As Overdiking's tyres are working harder than they particularly want to be worked. Around the Kumo curve, Overdyking runs a little bit wide. Oh, is he losing the rear end? It was close. It was very close. But that put Casely slightly offline as well. He may be able to have an attack on this lap, but as I mentioned, he may want to just hold off until the final lap of the race or make the move down into turn 1. It's easier to overtake into turn 1 than it is to attack into the final chicane. But here we go then. There's hardly a hair's width between them as they are about to start the final lap of the race. Casely taking a much tighter line. He's got a much better exit. Overdyking going defensive, but that's now going to give Casely the race in line. He'll be able to be stronger on the brakes, but Overdyking's fighting it down into the braking zone. Side by side they go then, and Casely trying to go all the way around the outside. He's got the softer compound tyre. He's now got the inside line. Can he hold it in there? He does. But he's going to have the outside line for the right-hander that's coming up in a moment, but he's already ahead. Overdyking trying to go for a switchback, but I don't think he'll have the grip in the tyres. He hasn't, so that's Casely up into the lead, but I'm fairly sure Overdyking, if there's an opportunity of making a move back on him, he'll go for it. It's whether his tyres are going to allow him to do so, which I don't think they are, but the hairpin would be one of the places to have a go. But Casely's car just too quick on those tyres at the moment, but a fantastic drive to hunt him down with 1 lap remaining. To take the lead. A fantastic bit of driving. That gap has now opened up a little bit, so we'll have a quick look. Adam 4600 in 3rd place, JS in 4th place, and I tell you what, he's actually not far behind Adam 4600, but GP is in between them. David Harp quite a way back, Oldman even further back, and Sir 2 and GP quite a long way off. Excuse me. But here we go then. Casely leading the race. Has been an absolute fantastic drive from everyone really. When Casely into the Vidal chicane for the final time, and he's going to be absolutely buzzing with this one. He's had to work for it. Overdyking trying the one-stop strategy, very nearly worked. Very unfortunate for him, but Casely will take victory again in the Front Row Racing PCS, with Overdyking crossing the line in 2nd place here in the Nurburgring. But we'll move on to Adam 4600, who is in 3rd place. He's on for a podium interview, but he's got Front Row Racing JS hunting him down. There he is in the background, but I don't think he's got enough lap left. The gap is just too big, so as long as Adam 4600 makes no mistakes, he's going to take a fantastic podium here. And quite nicely through the chicane as JS is really pushing. I mean, Adam 4600 also on a one-stop strategy. Absolutely fantastic driving by him. Around the corner he goes then. He's going to cross the line in 3rd place. Absolutely buzzing for him. Another podium. And Front Row Racing JS will cross the line in 4th position. Dave the Harper, he's had an interesting one. Riding in it says 6th there, but he is in 5th place at the moment. I think GP has just crossed the line, which is why it's showing Dave slightly out of position. Unfortunately for Dave, the best part of his race was when we got to see him miss the pit lane. Well, no, that's not true. The first 10 laps of the race were absolutely brilliant from Dave the Harp. It was just unfortunate that he did have the problem at the pit lane, but around the corner he goes and across the line. Should be happy enough, I reckon, with a 5th place finish. GBM Oldman, as I said, was not far behind in 6th place. Very well done to him. Unfortunate with the collision with Adam 4600 earlier on. Sir 2, he's coming up to the final corner to take 7th place. Also on a one-stop strategy, a mixture of 2 stops and 1 stops there, with differing results really, but very well done from Sir 2. And then Front Row Racing GP, he will round out the standings in 8th place, and given that he had no practice, I reckon he'll be fairly happy with that one. I mean, this is a fantastic racetrack to drive around, especially in these types of cars, but if you've had no practice, you've no idea what the cars are going to do, how the tyres are going to last, or anything like that, it does make it very difficult. But anyway, absolutely brilliant. In a few moments time I'll get the top 3 drivers in for a podium interview, which will be very interesting, I'm sure. But as I mentioned a couple of times, if you're watching this and you want to get involved in a Project Cars League on PlayStation 4, then don't hesitate to find Front Row Racing on Facebook and drop us a message and we'll get you straight in. Next up is the GT3 League next Sunday, and the next LMP1 League is in 2 weeks' time from today. Although I'm fairly sure they'll revert back to their normal times of racing, which I think is 8 o'clock. But if you ever want to know what information about what events Front Row Racing has got on, on Monday evenings, a week ahead post is put up on the Facebook page, which will list the information for all of the events during that week. Okay, so a fantastic race there from everybody. All of the drivers having to work very, very hard, but a brilliant race to watch. Casey taking the victory and extending his points gap in the standings. Okay, I shall now invite in the podium sitters for a little bit of a chat. I'm not sure if Adam 4600 will have his microphone, but we'll give him a try anyway. He doesn't speak very often, but he does speak now and again. Okay, so as we wait for the podium drivers to join us, a very interesting race. So it would have been much more interesting with another 5, 6, 7 drivers on the grid, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. Overdyking has now joined us in the commentary box. Interesting race there, Dom. And Casey has also joined us. So we'll just hang on for Adam 4600. And there he goes. So if all of you guys can just make sure you've got your microphone set to allowed to be shared. Otherwise, we're the only people that are going to hear you. And we'll have to make up some funny noises on the video in place of what you said. Okay, very interesting race there. Casey, fantastic. A bit of a shocking start, to be honest, but very interesting stints throughout the race. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my starts in a minute.
It's all that practicing you're doing of them before the race.
Well, that's why I do it, to try and get good ones. Well, I just get jumped every time. So yeah, just I was battling with Dave, which is a good battle to have. Just to say to him, if he's watching, he didn't need to let me back past, but respect for doing so. And yeah, I noticed a few people one-stopping. I knew they'd be close at the end. Didn't think of that fucking close.
No. Well, obviously, you made your first stop, and Overdyking was going to. He changed his mind. And I think changed his strategy as well. But at what point did you realise, okay, he's one-stopping? And at what point, was there any point where you thought, I don't know if I can do this?
What did I pitted on lap 9, was it?
Yeah.
I think about lap... But he didn't come in the next lap, so I thought, yeah, he's going for a one-stop. I knew it was possible. So I think I was looking at Adam's times because he was on my delta, and I thought it'd be close at the end. But the last stint I had clear air, and I thought I've got to get him about 2 seconds a lap, and I just had enough to do it.
Well, it worked out. It was, I think the first lap was about 2 seconds, but then it was getting closer to 3. What's going through your mind as that gap's coming down?
It's quite fun, to be honest. I know Dom's probably a bit
perhaps not
a bit, but but you know, so it's good to chase people down rather than being chased. But just trying to keep it consistent and get the job done.
Yeah, well, if Front Row Racing JS has overtaken is like a teenager in a nightclub for the first time, your racing was a lot more like an adult that's been clubbing for a long time that knows when to pick and choose his moments. It was a great drive there. Okay, we'll quickly move on to Overdyking. That was an interesting race, that, Dom. It was an interesting race. I mean, you had a fairly decent view of everything that was kicking off on the opening lap, and I think you may have had a good view of the crash that happened as well between, I think it was Adam and GBM Oldman. But the main thing I'm curious about, what went through your mind when you saw Dave and Casey blocking the road on the exit of the hairpin, and also, was it a change of strategy? Was it a change to a one-stop? Or was it a always planned, you just pitted later than Because it looked like you was going to follow Casely in, but you chose not to. So was it a change of strategy, or what? Talk us through it.
Well, let's start with this. I did not do any practice for this, so I didn't know whether to 1-stop, 2-stop, or 8-stop. So that was quite difficult. So I tried to gamble for the 1-stop on the softs, and I saw Casely go in. I was like, no, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make a 1-stop work with these tyres. So I went on to lap 11. And then pitted for hard tyres because I was going to follow Casely in, but I just didn't feel like it. So the tyres still felt all right to that point, so I just decided to continue on. And then, from lap 11, put the hards on and hoped it would work. But yeah,
it was close.
An interesting race. Yeah, it was close. When Casely and Dave Hart purposely were blocking the road, that was quite frustrating because I had a great drive out of the hairpin. I thought I could take the lead there, but I mean that was unfortunate. But I thought if there was any race that I could beat Casely, it would have been this one. But when I went out on the hard tyres after the pit stops, I had 2 big moments and went onto the grass, and I think that cost me about 10 seconds altogether. So I think that cost me the race in the end. But then again, losing to Casely, I'm not really fussed. I mean, it's a good race, and I'm happy with the result.
So what was going through your mind? Because I mean, as Casely mentioned, when you're chasing someone, it's good fun. And we all know when you're the one being chased, it's not as much fun. So what's going through your mind as those last couple of laps, and it's like, you're seeing that time coming down? Does it make it more difficult to keep to your own lap times? Or is it just I'm Dutch, it doesn't matter?
No, well, at the start, I kept looking at the delta time and made a couple of mistakes, not big ones, but after a certain moment, I was like, just go for it and just get your head down and get the quali laps in and try to do it. But I knew it would be close, obviously, with Casely being on the fresh tyres and me doing 43s and him probably doing 40s. So I always knew it was going to be close. I actually thought he was going to have.
I can't believe Casely. I can't believe you just did that. 39s, mate. Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry,
well, in all fairness, Dom could go 42s, mate. So yeah, he rounded up.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that I couldn't win, but then again, losing to Casely, who's dominated every single Project Cars race that has been so far, I can't be anything else than happy.
So was it tempting?
It's a shame I couldn't win, but
was it tempting to go for a dive bomb on that last lap?
No, because I knew Casely wouldn't have been happy with me. I tried to keep him. I tried to keep him off for as long as possible, but obviously wasn't able to in the first sector. I mean, he didn't gain much on me on the overall lap. It's just the first sector where he gained about 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was in the corners.
And then after that, it was all right.
Yeah, with the softer compound tyres, it was all coming in the corners. But anyway, very well done on second place. We'll move over to Adam 4600. Adam, are you there?
Yep. Hello.
Hello. Kind of a 2-part race for you. Opening laps, absolutely phenomenally interesting. The 1-stop strategy was the second part of the race, which kind of left you in a bit of no man's land for a lot of the race. But talk us through the opening few laps, because with Casely having his dodgy start, yes, Dave the Harp was attacking him, which he obviously knew about. He might not have seen that you were there as well.
It's 3 wide into turn 1. That was interesting, actually. I did have a sneaky suspicion I could lead this, but no, I chickened out because they were both slightly ahead. So if I missed the braking point, I'm into the back of Dave. But yeah, after that, it was just sort of defend really, which didn't work out. And then there was the crash and all that. But I knew I had this strategy in my pocket. So I was just hoping that other people around me would do 2 stops, which they did.
So would you say the 1-stop strategy definitely worked in your favour?
I'd say so, yeah, because when I came out, I was, 4th, 5th? If I'd done 2 stops, I would have been 4th, 5th at the finish, so, and I'm here. So I think it worked for me today.
That is very true. So what would you say was the best part of the race for you?
Well, I could tell you the worst part, the final 5 laps with JS, closing. That was You said it's not at all fun to be the guy being closed on. It bloody isn't. I've never thought about braking zones so hard in my life. It's not fun. But the best part's the laps kind of 14 through 18 when you've got fresh tyres and you're faster than the guys around you. It's just like, right, go now. I can use fresh tyres, fast car, go.
Well, it was a strategy that definitely worked for you. I mean, for Casely, obviously the two-stop was the better strategy for yourself. I mean, do you reckon if you'd have gone for a two-stop strategy, you could have perhaps pushed the tyres harder? Or do you think with your setup, your driving style, it just overall wouldn't have been any benefit of doing that?
There would have been some benefits doing it, because if I'd have done it one stop, I'd have put on the soft tyres, which I'm sure Casely did, and then I've been able to push harder, probably around a second lap quicker in terms of lap time. So I think it would have made for a more interesting race. I'd have had to do a bit more overtaking after the first few laps. But no, I think this one was better for me today.
Well, I'm very pleased for you being on the podium. It's absolutely it is good to hear you on here and to see you having a good race. Obviously, GBM Oldman may have a difference of opinion on that one. I mean, what did happen with that crash? I mean, we saw it obviously, but obviously sometimes what we see isn't everything that happens. So, talk us through the collision from your point of view.
I think that was lag affected because admittedly, my setup was very acceleration oriented, the gearbox, and so I accelerated out the final corner. I tapped him, but everyone's done that with the AI. You just sort of tap them and then you lift off and go again. They don't just spear to the right. So either he speared or there was some lag. He steered or there was some lag involved.
Well, maybe Roman Reigns was at the side of the track chucking in a few spears. But I'm sure if you speak to Oldman, he'll give you his view on that one. But anyway, an absolutely fantastic race. I'm going to quickly move back to Casely. Casely, from a Racing JS, has been trying to curse you with the championship. You've just gone and taken another victory here. You haven't wrapped it up just yet, I don't think. But it's got to be in the bag, hasn't it?
Well, you say that, but I got hacked last week. I think it was James. So, just got to try get a few more podiums and it should be there, I think.
Yeah. Well,
the poster's made.
well, this is the thing. It's James. Everybody can hear. He's a poster that says Casely champion to purposefully curse him. All right, and he told him that he was doing
my
this.
poster, James.
Well, if he makes you a poster, he's not cursing you, is he? This is the thing. He's trying to curse Casely in every possible way, and it's not working.
No, it's backfiring.
A lot like your car after the amount of contact it's had today. Okay. James, seeing as you are here, any questions for the drivers?
Mainly, it's... can you please slow down? It's getting a bit ridiculous now.
I'll try my best, mate.
Yeah. No, it's cracking to see a good battle up at front. Mind you, I couldn't see it because I was too far behind. But yeah, the main thing is how the hell is anybody going to be able to stop Casely? I mean, that qualifying lap was absolutely rapid. The fastest I'd done was a 20.
20?
139.9 was the fastest I've done. And you took like another 1.8 seconds.
Yeah, well, the scary thing about his lap times was Casely's fastest lap in the race would still have got him pole position.
Yeah.
What was the lap time?
A 39.2 in the race.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. But to be fair, I think at that point in the race, his hormones were up. He got the James May tingling going on. He was absolutely on it. But anyway, fantastic race there. So I think it's just about time to wrap this up because it's getting quite late now with the delay from official F1 today. Which, if you haven't seen it, but you don't really watch much F1, just watch the bit after the race because that's quite fun. But anyway, yeah, time to wrap this up then. So next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be on Wednesday for round 3 of the Front Row Racing F1 World Championship, where you'll be able to see the likes of Casely and Overdyking taking on the F1 cars around the China circuit. That'll be from 7:25 p.m. on Wednesday on YouTube. I must admit, I'm looking forward to seeing how the guys get on with that one. Next up in the Project Cars will be next Sunday. James, you'll need to let us know what time and what location.
Yeah, so that'll be, I believe, 7:30, and that will be for round 7. In the GT3 class. So to be fair, that's going to be pretty crazy. I'm pretty sure Casely's also dominating that one. I need to make another post, guys.
I think what you need to do is ask Casely, which tracks do you hate on Project Cars? Right, that's where we're racing. So anyway, it's okay. Sunday then it is 7:30 p.m. next Sunday for the PCP GT3s, and in 2 weeks' time will be the next round of the PCS, the LMP1s. And as I've mentioned throughout the video, for more information on that, on Mondays, check out the Front Row Racing Facebook page, where the week ahead post will have all of the information of the upcoming events for that week. But from everyone here, well done. A very interesting race, even with a shortened grid. But yeah, well done to Casely. Good luck with the rest of the racers. Well done to Overdyking for a very well-deserved second place. And well done to Adam 4600 for taking third. And well done to Front Row Racing JS for showing everybody how not to overtake. I'm waiting for that one to sink in. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all again soon.